So this is a crazy raise from Patrick. Legendary. Raise it up with the 3-5. This is a gangster bluff, man. And now back on Daniel Rizai, who hates this, right? This is the day 1B of the Caribbean. Let me just start it so that it loads up. There we go. So pretty interesting table that we're going to start with here. Demsky, thanks for the follow. We have Tony Tran. Don't know anything about Tony Tran. Philip Gruesome, you know, longtime poker player, legend of the game, Philip Gruesome. Clement Tarmakov, I don't know anything about. Andreas Klott, I don't know anything about. Anton Wig, very good poker player, has been playing for a long time. He was in the GPL, actually, but good high-stakes player. Timothy Miles, I don't think I know. I might. Patrick Clark, I'm not sure. And then Daniel Rizai was actually part of my Ultimate Sweat competition. So a guy that I went on a nice 4-hour hike in Barcelona with. Really good dude. So it'll be exciting to see this table play out, yeah? Should be good, man. Should be good. Go Spurs. Come on, Ted Robb. It's going to be a tough match today for Tottenham, but that's okay. I'll probably put it up on the side screen so that I can sweat it. So let's get into it, man. Let's get it going. Want to match the volume here a little bit. We don't want it to be too loud. So we're going to start off at 4K, 8K with an 8K ante for day 1B. We revert back since it is still day 1 here. So we went through all these blinds yesterday as well when we were doing commentary. Here's the table. Here's who we're dealing with. Philip Gruesome right in the middle of the table. It looks like Anton Wig in the 8 seat. They're very unbalanced here, by the way. Look how much room the 1 seat has. Look at that. The 1 seat has all the room. Watching on my new Samsung ultra-wide 49-inch monitor. Amazing.
Everybody to day
awesome. That sounds great. All right, going to turn down the commentary there. Just bet Liverpool minus 140. I know it's fishy, but I want to sweat. I hate betting on a draw. Yeah, dude. I would bet Liverpool today, too. I mean, I'm hopeful, but, like, as a betting person, I just think they're such a better squad than us right now. So, we'll see. That's Daniel Rizai, the guy that was in my Ultimate Sweat competition. Good to see him out there on the grinds. I'm just deciding if I want to, like, add a little side piece table, you know? If I don't want to, like, just fire off one tournament on the side. I kind of want to. On no delay. Imagine having that trophy in your room. I know, Escuvy. So my parents are actually bringing the 2 poker trophies I have. I have 3 poker trophies in total in my life. One is a Run It Up Reno trophy for winning an event there. One is for winning a EPT side event, €550 by NPLO. And then the third one is for Global Poker Awards being Streamer of the Year last year. Or, well, they don't do it right at the end of the year, so I guess the season before that, basically. So 2 years ago. So yeah, I have those 3 poker trophies, and I'm trying to get them shipped here because the background could use a little bit of hype, you know? There's no trophies back there. We got to figure it out. All right, Philip Gruesome raises it up with the ace-queen. Anton Wig in the cutoff here. With the king-queen. I was there when you won the Run It Up trophy, 6 sweat. Yeah, man. It was a fun tournament. All right, Timothy. I don't know Timothy. I respect the table demeanor already, though. I respect it. Patrick from Ireland is going to fold, and then Tony from America, I don't know, is going to call as well. 8 bits. Yo, Chris Connie, thank you very much for that. You're a bit lord of the day, man. Bit lord of the day, just like that, Chris Connie. Thank you, dude. All right, 2 a flop. Queen 4 deuce. Kind of a dangerous board here. Philip loves it with the ace queen. Anton Wig also has top pair with second nut kicker. And Tony has top pair with third nut kicker. So there's no queens left. Everyone has top pair except for Timothy. It's too bad Timothy doesn't have like 5-6 suited with a backdoor flush draw, you know? Just to mess things up. This is, yeah. It's a big flop. And I wouldn't be surprised if it went bet, call from Anton Wig, call from Tony here. I think you could totally go to the turn 3 ways. What's up, Jim Ladd? How's it going, man? Patrick from Ireland is named Clicky. Okay. Why is that? What's the story? Clicky. I can respect it. Cool. Oh, yes. Arsenal drew against Crystal Palace. You'll love to see it, man. So good. So a bet and a call, which I kind of thought might happen. 10 of spades on the turn. No one picks up a flush draw here, and no one hits a second pair. So Philip Gruesome could continue betting here. Is reasonable. But I don't think a check is out of the world either. Patrick Clark. All right, clicky. There it is. I'll bring the guns. Thanks for the intel on that. And we are going to see another bet here, though. 160,000, which was pretty big, man. 160K into like 210,000 is pretty big sizing three ways with ace queen here. He does have the best hand, though, so there you go. Getting some good value in this spot.
Nothing Anton can do here other than call, and then things get interesting for Tony. Philip did c-bet this one four-way.
Everyone likes Philip Gruesome. Yeah, he seems like a really good dude. I've never met him before, but he seems like a nice guy.
A little bit concerned.
And I'm pretty sure he's a, yeah, team pro. Party Poker team pro right there.
Tony getting away from this one, but just the one bet.
And a 10 of hearts on the river. Philip Gruesome has another close one here. Heads up. Could consider betting. But you got to remember, bet into 4 people on the flop. Bet big into 4 people on the turn. So does he want to go for another barrel here with, you know, top pair, top kicker? Anton, it's tough for Anton to have much better hands. Like, you can have 4s full, you can have 2s full, and you can have probably queen 10 here, which beats Philip Gruesome, and that's about it. So not too many combos that Philip Gruesome has to worry about Anton having. But then again, how many combos can he get value from? Like king queen is what he's hoping to get value from by betting here, or like queen jack, king queen and queen jack exclusively. I don't think there's any other hand that could conceivably call to a third barrel here as a hero call. But we see a very thin bet at 325, and we'll see if Anton pays it off. I mean, this is the exact hand he's trying to get called by. And so if Anton folds, then you shouldn't value it. But he doesn't know what he's going to do, so we'll see.
Easier call. He had a hand card, say, like king of spades with the queen of clubs. And we blocked quite a few of those draws that double barrel. Having king, queen, no spade is a good thing if he wants to call.
I wouldn't fault him for the call. It's all very close, right? But it's also it's repping a lot of strength. Philip Gruesome. I mean, Philip Gruesome can have aces, he can have kings, he can have ace queen. That's value betting here. It can have 4s full, can have 2s full, could have queen 10 as well. Like there's a decent amount of hands that Philip Gruesome can value bet. And what is going to multi-barrel bluff like this? You know, like ace king of spades is reasonable. Ace king of spades, ace jack of spades.
What do you think about folding this one?
Assuming those continuation bet on the flop. There's not a ton here. I think Anton can find the fold. I do. The tank is on, though, for Anton Wig. And he finds the fold. Good fold from Anton Wig. Good way to start, too. Philip Gruesome going for some pretty thin value. Takes down the pot, but maybe too thin on the river. You know, he got the hand right below his to fold, which means it's probably too thin of a value bet, you know? Probably a little bit too thin.
Weird spot. Phil bet for value with the hand one higher. Made the hand one lower fold. Failed value bet.
All right. Continue on. Andreas going to fold the 9-8. Daniel Razai is going to fold the Jack-8 as well. Fold around to Clement, a Canadian. I don't know. Anton folds as well. Timothy with a king 10 suited. Here's a play, man. This is one we're getting in there with. We were playing this one, man. Hello, Rouge. How's it going, Rouge? Patrick, known as Clicky, according to the chat. Clicky on the button. Good pass. Fold from the queen 4. And Philip Gruesome with the 9-7. Now, I think priced in here, you know, you have a lot of chips. It's pretty cheap to call and take a flop. So even though the 9-7 isn't very good, I think it's a worthwhile investment of 10,000 to win the 38,000 in the middle. So we do see a call from Philip Gruesome, and we're going to a flop. Anyone else dropping a frame or two?
5 deuce 2 hearts.
I don't have any dropped frames on my side, Axiom Fox. You might have to downgrade your quality. The bottom, if it's struggling, you can always click the little gear button, downgrade a tad, and it might be better.
Check or bet on this one.
Depending on your internet speeds. Okay, so pretty good flop for Timothy. He flops a flush draw and 2 overcards. Philip Gruesome misses.
Take it down there
and just folds. Lets it go. Okay, sweet. I kind of want to play a tournament on the side, man. So I'm gonna hop into the Gladiator 10K. It's no delay, so I'm not going to show you guys my hands, but I'm just gonna put it on my side monitor and play. And then if we make like a final table, we can just start up the stream and stream it. You know. There it is. All right, let me pull it off. Can't broadcast my hands. There we go. All right. Put it right above the camera so you guys know when I'm playing a hand. We'll see if this works. See if I can multitask, like doing commentary on this and also playing one table. Hey, you never walk alone. Hey, man, now I got to fold that 7-8 suited. Yeah, so we're hopping in the 109 Gladiator early edition. FYI, dude. Anton folding queen 4 under the gun. Timothy with another big hand here in the 9s. Gonna raise it up.
Timothy coming in again this time.
Tony on the button with ace-7 offsuit. Not a great hand. I used to overplay these all the time. I think it's fine to just fold ace-7 offsuit here. But Tony looks like it's going to be a 3-bet. Looks like 75K. Yeah, 75,000. Philip Gruesome's going to fold with the 8-3. Andreas with the 6-5s. Surely going to fold. And then back to Timothy, who I think should peel one off here. You know, 9's pretty good hands. I think good enough to call a re-raise and hopefully hit a set or play post-flop, etc. Used to overplay hands like a7, Jamie. Yeah, like offsuit aces on the button and the small blind and stuff like that. I'd play them too much. So I was like too polarized, basically. I played too much like ace X as opposed to jack 8 suited type situation. You know, like a jack 8 suited might actually be a better hand to 3-bet here than the a7 offsuit. Although jack 8 suited isn't great, but like playability is more important than I give credit for. You know. All right, so we go to a queen 10-7 flop. Tony flopped a pair. Ooh, checks back at the queen 10-7. I don't know if I like it, but hits the 7 on the turn, so makes the best hand now. Lucky for Timothy, the board is not great for him, so he might be able to get away here. But obviously, Tony is loving his life. Loving this situation. Got selfie cam. You guys are missing selfie cam. There it is. Philip Gruesome on the selfie game. So you can give me a tourney update. What's up? I'll bring the guns. How's it going? We are watching the Caribbean Poker Party. Doing some commentary. It's on no delay. This happened in November. This is day 1B of our coverage. We did day 1A yesterday. This is day 1B. And then there's 3 other days in the event as well. Day 2, day 3, and then the final table, day 4. So, yeah, this is our second day of coverage. And it's just starting, man. It's not the final table. This is just the beginning of the tournament, actually. So the stacks are very deep here. You know, everyone has around 100 big blinds or more, which means there's going to be some really interesting situations coming up. You know, deep stack poker in a tournament. You don't often see it that much, you know. So if players get creative, they can really do some fun things. Perfect, thanks. No problem. What's up, Jamie? Hello, Adrock. What's up, dude? Just, you know, I'm playing one table here, doing a little bit of commentary, hanging out on a Saturday afternoon, hoping Tottenham wins this afternoon, not betting on it against Liverpool. Overall, it's good, man. Life is good. Clements. It's going to fold to Anton Wig with the Jack 3 folds as well. And Patrick Clicky with the ace deuce suited is going to raise it up here to 20,000. Blinds are 4K, 8K, so that's about 2.5 big blinds. Philip Gruesome folds in the button. Andreas the small blind, and our friend Daniel, who we got a root for here, man, from our Ultimate Sweat competition. You got a root for him. Jack 3 suited for 2.5 blinds. It's actually kind of close for 2.5 blinds, I think, but probably worth defending, and he does. Canadian Spurs fan, so strange. Yeah, I want it to be different, dude. I didn't want to choose a cliche North American team, which would be Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, Man United. Probably the 4 most famous teams in Canada, anyways. So I went for Tottenham. I like Tottenham. It's a good fit for me. 9-6 deuce with a deuce in the flop. Favorite Spurs player? Oh, man, it's so close. Osty, because you've got to love, I mean, probably Son, yeah. I mean, he's amazing, but Harry Kane, of course, you got to throw a lot of respect at as well. And then kind of an underrated pick, my underrated favorite Spurs player would be Lucas Moura. You know, scored the most important goal of the last decade. Has stepped up in a couple of big spots. I feel like is criminally underrated by everyone that watches. So, yeah, I'm a big Lucas Moura fan as well. Those 3. I mean, they're all attackers or strikers, so maybe that says something. But yeah, I like those 3. I like the whole team though, you know. There's no one that really I don't like so much. Christian Eriksen, yeah, we're going to lose him pretty soon, man. He's going to be gone pretty soon.
Does make good call.
Bet for the Jack 3 bluff, and the ace deuce calls down and wins. So Clicky picking up some pots. Jao Samao is playing it from DropX 92. I'm not sure. I believe he played in this tournament, but I don't know when the coverage of him is, if there is any DropX. So this is from the Caribbean poker party, the 10,000 buy-in, but it's in November. So this has already happened. You could have watched this live stream on Poker Go at the time. Now it's released on the Party Poker Live YouTube channel, so I'm able to do commentary on it after the fact. I don't think it's been broadcast on Twitch yet, so and I haven't seen it. So I'm looking forward to going through the coverage, seeing if there's any interesting hands, you know, picking up on some of the strategies of these elite players, learning from them and stuff. So yeah. What's up? You never walk alone. 5284. I am struggling at the minute, Jamie, with my all-ins. I cannot seem to win flips or high enough percentage of them, so I'm finding it really difficult to build stacks. As every time I try to build a stacks, my chips are decimated. I'm also losing a high percentage of 70, 30, 80, 20s. Do you have any advice for me? You can't control that. You never walk alone. You can't control the short-term luck. So sometimes you're just gonna go in huge streaks of just like not winning hands, and that's life, you know. So you just keep focusing on making good decisions. When you're running bad, it's not gonna work out. And when you're running well, you can win a lot of money, you know? And those are just the natural fluctuations. Sometimes in poker, you can do everything right and it doesn't work. And you gotta understand that. You gotta realize that. You know, that is just the way the game is. You can play a tournament perfectly and just bust on level 7. And you are never going to be able to win because of the luck. And that just is what it is. And then sometimes you play perfectly and things go your way. You know, you're running on the 10% lucky side and you end up winning the tournament, which of course is very lucky to win a tournament as well. You know, there's sometimes thousands of people vying to win a tournament. A lot of them are very good. The fact that you beat 999 other people that are trying their best as well means that you're lucky, you know? So our results in poker are really interesting because they come from outliers when we're talking about tournament poker. You know, if we run exactly at expectation every tournament, we're not going to win any tournaments. You have to be lucky to win tournaments. But let's say, you know, like here is even luck, right? And we're even luck, even luck. We're going to go here, 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 here. Most is going to be right around the middle. Mostly it's going to be pretty fair. Sometimes we're going to get unlucky a few times in a row. Sometimes we're going to get very lucky in a row. Those outliers is where we make the money. Because on average, we're going to have more high outliers than low outliers if we're a skilled player. So, but yeah, you got to understand that, like, really it's the culmination of those outliers over several months, over years even, that result in a profitable situation, not the everyday. That's not it. It's the long shots coming through 2% and the long shot losses coming through 1%. That's what makes the difference. As sick as it is. As sick it is as it is, my friend. Cheers, you never walk alone. Cheers, man. Glad I could help. Any Scottish teams? Haven't got into Scottish football at all, so I don't know. Hearts or the Hibs, Celtic or Rangers? Don't know, man. I am not sure. Some people have been telling me who to root for, but I just haven't watched any matches yet. All right, we continue on here.
Once again, finding a hand.
Philip Gruesome with the 10s and the hijack. Good hand. Staples bot having another break. There you go. Rip Staples bot, man.
Small ace 9 off. Tough spots.
And action on Clement in the small blind. My Canadian brother. Who's your favorite Liverpool player? Don't know, dude. I don't know any of them. Actually, Mane. Mane is pretty sick. Scores a lot of goals. I've seen him a little bit, but I mean, I have a lot of respect for Liverpool. I don't dislike them at all. I think they are an incredible team. You know, I want Tottenham to win all the time, but I've got respect for what they're doing. It seems, you know, Jurgen Klopp seems like a really great manager. Got a good demeanor about him. It seems like the team is just like happy and clicking and working hard. So respect, man. What's up, Meaty Plays? Usually gets second place in live tournaments, so I always have difficulty winning the heads-up battle. Any suggestions to get past the hurdle? Play some sit and goes, man. Oh, Anton Wig flopping the top pair again. Unfortunately, unlucky against Philip Gruesome. Really unlucky for Anton Wig. 2 top pairs where he is in a rough spot. Yeah, so I think sit and goes are a really good place to practice Meaty Plays, because if you, or spin and goes too, spins, because if you play those, you end up getting heads up a lot and get to practice. Heads up is a different game. Whoa, Anton Wig, I was just calling you unlucky, Anton. Boom, king on the turn, 2 pair. I feel like Anton Wig and I are like acquaintances, you know? We've talked a few times on Twitter. I think we like each other and respect each other. I might have actually interviewed him once on my stream, Anton Wig.
Most of the time.
Or was that Kevin? I definitely played with him before. I think it was EPT Dublin in like four and a half years ago. EPT Dublin 5K main event. We were down to like 60 on day 4. And I was like one of the top 10 in chips. And unfortunately, I got dusted and I busted in like 40th. But yeah, I played with him. He's a very good player. Pretty sure. I could be confused as well. But I think so.
Check jam and Phil in a tough spot now.
You follow American football? I don't really. True original. No, I don't really follow. Like the team I rooted for as a kid. Anton Shoves. Wow. Philip Gruesome, thinking about it. The team I rooted for as a kid was the Patriots, because they were kind of winning when I was in like grade 3 and grade 4 in school, you know? So I was like, yeah, let's go Patriots. But to be honest, I've watched the Super Bowl like once out of the last 3 years, I think. Just haven't really got into it. Plus, I haven't really lived in any countries that sweat that sport for a while. Tough spot here for Philip Gruesome. I mean, Anton is saying he has a king. And what kings are going to float on the flop? You know, king high club draws is very relevant. Those are likely going to float on the flop and hit top pair. But they're not necessarily going to raise all in on the turn because they would have top pair and a flush draw. What's the point in raising? You know what I mean? They block all the good hands. So, yeah, I understand why Philip Gruesome is really thinking about this here. It's a difficult spot.
Would he perhaps not just call with 2 pair?
And it folds. Nice fold, Philip Gruesome. Some high-level poker here, man.
Big twice.
Anton and Philip Gruesome both playing very good. Very good. Put in bets when they got the best of it. Folding when they're put at the test with the worst of it. It's pretty good. Unbeaten in the Prem for 1 year now, Jamie. Only 1 loss in the league in the last 58 matches. Yeah, I know. Don't remind me, dude. We're playing them today. I hope you guys get stomped today.
As you see, still well over 100 big blinds.
Klopp is the best manager in the world. Got to respect that. Just like no matter who you support, everyone has respect for Fergie. I didn't know that was his nickname, but there you go. I don't know if he's the best manager in the world. I don't know how to rate. I've got a soft spot in my heart for Pochettino, and Marino's our manager now. I can't throw out best manager in the world because I feel like I'm rooting against my squad, but I like him. He seems like a good manager. Antis Vanti, yeah. Antis Vanti, that's the man online. He was in the GPL. He was in the San Francisco team, actually. 2 of these guys were in the GPL when that was a thing. Philip Gruesome, I think, was on the Bears, Berlin Bears, and then Anton Wig was in the San Francisco something.
Coming in for the raise this time.
I think on Phil Galfon's team.
Anton, 7-8 suited in the small.
Whoever else was on that team. Man, it's really too bad that didn't work because it could have been awesome. It could have been really cool. I'm kind of disappointed. Didn't happen. I think Kane not playing is a huge blow for Spurs. He's their main scorer. Yeah, man. I think we have Son back today, I hope, anyways, off his suspension. So hopefully that'll make a difference for us. We'll see. Can you teach your brother how to win the 320, please? Yeah, I saw I got 4th place last night. GG and congrats to Matty Ice. Getting it done. All right, so we go to flop here. Anton Wig with the pair of 8s and a flush draw. Bottom pair and a flush draw is pretty fun. Clement with the 2nd pair, an average kicker, and Timothy with the small pair here in the big blind.
You could do a bit of checking and a bit of betting here.
So it's checking around.
To check it back.
Turn is a 9, giving Clement the best hand now with trip 9s.
Not a good card for Anton to see.
And Anton Wig still has the pair in the flush draw, but now beat, right? So he's going to have to hit that spade. Timothy is a brick at this point. Clement is going to bet 42K here. And I think Anton Wig should call, you know. With the pair, sometimes is good against a pure bluff, and you have some outs with spades. So I think the call is fine.
42K to bet Anton. Pair and flush draw. Obviously going nowhere.
And there's a call. And action on Timothy, who I'm assuming is going to fold here in a second. You get a nice perspective of the table on the sunglasses. You can see what's going on. At least I can. I got a 43-inch monitor I'm rolling with here in the middle. So it's like big. It's big. I can see. I can see what's happening. GPI could have worked. They hyped it and people turned up to watch, at least at the start. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure everyone has theories as to why it could work or could not work. In my opinion, and everything is easier in hindsight too. You know, there's a bunch of very smart people that were working on that. In my opinion, I think you should have started with a lot less teams. Starting with that many teams is very expensive to keep up. You know, it's a lot of matches to keep up. Very expensive to pay for all of those players and all of those teams. I think starting with like 4 or 6 teams and expanding year over year would have been better. Would have allowed everyone to get to know all the teams and there to be easier storylines on villains. You know, there's so many players in the GPL. I had no idea who they were. I'd never heard of them before. And that's nothing against those players, of course, but it's just like when you have 8 or 10 squads with, 5 or 6 people per squad, it's like you just have a lot of people. So that's a thing. And then the second thing for GPL, I think, is that they needed to get, like, they went for the wrong market. I think they went for the very best poker players in the world. But the problem is the incentives aren't there for the very best poker players in the world to play. You're not going to be able to pay them enough to where it's profitable for them to play GPL over playing just online poker, right? So you needed to go for Twitch streamers and YouTubers. You need to go for poker entertainers, kind of like the old guard of the old guard of TV poker streams. You needed to do that for the GPL. You needed to sign all the streamers who would have played for free for content, right? That already had audiences of thousands of people interested in watching their content that could have made the league work, and YouTubers, and then of course throw big players that want to play and are interested in playing, and are legitimately famous. But there were some people that were on the GPL that, like probably had 20 fans of them worldwide, and they were great players, but like people didn't know who they were. So if you wanted width from the league, you needed to use us, And I remember at the time, Tonka was killing it. No one signed Tonka. I mean, he's better than a lot of the guys in that league. No one signed him. And it's just like, you guys understand, 2,000 people are watching him stream every day. How could you not sign Tonka? You know what I mean? And I was streaming and I was killing it. Grips was streaming at the time and killing it. Like, Grips would have been a great team member at the time. Just nothing, man. It was just total bricks. Like the people that were running the teams were all just elite level poker players, and they just grabbed their friends. Of course, their other friends that were great poker players. And it was just like, well, this isn't gonna work. But it could work, dude. Like, imagine if we all had teams. If I had a team, if Jeff had a team, Matty Ice had a team, Tonka P had a team, Lex Veldhouse had a team, Spraggy and Finton had a team, and Pav, like just pick your streamers, right? Pick 4 or 5 of your favorite streamers. If all of them had a team of 4 and you competed against the other ones, then there's trash talk nonstop, be amazing, dude. Who wouldn't watch that? Everyone would watch that. Everyone would watch that. So yeah, that's a swing and a miss there. But potential would have killed. Tonka had 10K viewers the other night. Yeah, man. I saw that. He's been killing it. I mean, it is nice when you can final table like 1Ks all the time and stuff. That makes the viewership pop off. For sure. But no, he's been killing it. It's really good for poker that he's back too, It's going to make it more difficult for all of us to get viewers in the listing, but that's a very one-dimensional view. That's like a personal view. For the game as a whole and for the Twitch poker listing is a good thing, So that's good. All right, so a raise from Clements, call from Anton in the cutoff. We're going to a flop. This is a frisky call from 3s in the cutoff, but they're very deep stack as well. King Jack 9, Clement flopping second pair, Anton Wig completely missing. So unless he's got some bluff opportunities here, I think it's just GG on this hands. Want to get my first chipset? Any recommendations? I don't really know, Cherry Boy, actually. When I first got a chipset, I got it from an online store. Like, at the time, when I first started playing poker, it was Full Tilt Poker. I just saved up points and bought it there. I don't know if Party Poker Store has a chipset or not.
Stab here. Obviously not valuing these 3s, but thinks perhaps.
It's good entertainment. Shame about trolls making him quit in the first place. Dude, I don't think Tonka quit because of trolls, man. I'm pretty sure everyone that is streaming right now on Twitch Poker, like the bigger streamers that you know of, can all handle trolls, That doesn't mean it doesn't annoy you on one day, but I guarantee you Tonka didn't quit because people were trolling him. Like, that's not... that would not be it, you know.
Not a great card. Can have ace jack, ace 9, ace queen, ace 10. We'll play this way.
So we go to a turn here. Ace of clubs. This is a pretty bad card for Clement. If Anton finds a bluff, it could work. Why do you think he took a year off streaming? Well, he just said at the time he wasn't enjoying doing it, which is fair enough. You know, I get that. Like sometimes you're just burnt out, like you're tired. It's very demanding to stream all the time. It's just hard. Like it's just hard. I'm not saying poor me or anything, but it's a really difficult thing to do consistently. You got to think, you know, even streaming like 25 hours a week, 1 hour of streaming is not like 1 hour of a different job. It's like very taxing and tiring to do. So yeah, I mean, if you're pretty successful as a poker pro and you're pretty successful financially and you don't need money in the short term or the midterm and you're really burnt out on playing poker and streaming, why are you going to force yourself to do it? You know, it's just like, I'm tired. I understand that. So that would be kind of what he said in his statement. I mean, I'm kind of projecting a little bit more here to even my personal feelings at times over my career. But yeah, same thing with Kevin Martin, right? Kevin Martin was just like, I'm not having fun doing this anymore. He doesn't need to do it financially, so like, that's it. I mean, if you look at poker streamers that have like spanned the test of time, the average shelf life of like a really big channel is like 3 years, you know? And all the big streamers have come back recently. Like Jason Somerville has been streaming last couple days. He's been streaming a little bit. Tonka is back now after about a year off. Lex, you know, has been pretty consistent, but is definitely taking more time off than he used to. You know, so a little bit more periodic, but I think that's smart too. I think that's a good thing to be realistic, like, and not burn out over the long run and be a little bit more patient. And then it's sort of same thing with me, you know, like I'm not streaming nearly as much as I was year 1 or year 2, but also just because it's not possible to stream for 10 years and to stream that much. You just like, you'll just burn out and wither out and burn, you know, just be a burnout in life. Like it's too much playing poker specifically. You know, I think you could do this more often where you're not even playing, you're kind of just watching and you're chatting and stuff. Like this is a lot less pressure than playing. A lot more chill. But yeah, I mean, it's just, you can't, it's very intense in poker because it's not like other streams. Like you're competing for money, like in a strategy game, like all the time. And it's also at times kind of toxic. Not this channel really, but like other channels in Twitch poker is like pretty toxic, you know? So you can take a lot of criticism. You're in the spotlight and you're taking a lot of heat too. Cramdolim, drop of the 21-month resub. Our Montreal Canadiens aren't doing too well, Jamie. Dude, ever since I started sweating them again, they've been getting smashed. I feel like it's my fault. Leg TV Maximus Black in the building. Streaming video games is hard enough. Streaming poker full time would be very tough. Even more so, you're on a downswing, so you have to be upbeat and entertained. Yeah, man, that's the thing. Leg TV Maximus Black. Like, none of it's easy, but with poker, like most people in poker aren't successful over the long run, you know? Like most big pros end up going on a bit of a downswing and then getting out of poker. So to span the test of time from a poker skill point of view, from a streaming point of view, where people still want to watch you after 5 years or whatever. I mean, yeah, it's hard, man. It's hard. I'm not going to lie. It's really, really difficult to do. And I encourage everyone to try it. Like, seriously, get out there and give it a go. Because it's amazing if you can do it. It's such a fun job. But it is... and I understand how this sounds. Like the 28-year-old that is playing poker for a living and streaming is complaining. And I'm not trying to complain. I'm just saying there's hidden aspects of this career which are really difficult that you wouldn't expect, you know? I am playing the 109 Gladiator on the side, which is why sometimes you see me looking over here and playing. Just a little side piece tournament in case we final table, you know. Then we can start up the stream, start up the poker stream if we FT or something. But we're gonna keep sweating here. Philip Gruesome going for the raise with Jacks here in the big blind. I am very surprised. Is he repping a 3? I guess he's repping a 3, right?
Yeah.
Andreas on his face is like,
Fine, but if he's
you can see it on his face. He's like, this doesn't, what?
double-barreled,
What do you mean? Like, that's what his face says to me. What do you mean?
makes Andreas fold the ace.
Wow.
Nice
Okay.
play, Phil.
A bluff successful with the jacks. That's sick. That's sick.
That was a very interesting line.
With Prince Harry and the Queen in an apparent tiff, do you plan on playing Queen, Queen, and Jack, Jack any different? No. I cannot. This UK is so bizarre, man. The royal drama is unbelievable. And also, the crap that people give Meghan, or yeah, Meghan, I think, is unbelievable. It's just bizarre, man. It's a bizarre world, the royal situation, man. People are complaining about the. I mean, I can't even talk about it, man. It's too much. It's too insane, dude. It's too insane. The royal drama in the UK is just out of a crazy land. I can't believe it. What's good, bro? What's up, Jay? Don't even trip. Going back to back with the Saturday 320 ship, dude. Great plan. Back to back 320s for your mans. Let's go. It's like a bad soap opera. Yeah, dude. People way too invested. If I wasn't in the US, I'd definitely give poker streaming a try. I play a lot of cash in tournaments, and I think I'd love playing online poker. Yeah, man. I would recommend doing it. I would. Giving it a go. And for some reason, I don't know why it is always like this, but it just is. It's simpler at the start. Like, it becomes more complicated over time as there's just more responsibilities and things that you have to do. But in the beginning, it's pretty simple because it's just like, oh, I just have my channel. I just stream, and then it's off, and that's it. And then it's, you know, things like getting sponsored or, you know, having your community grow in other places and stuff like that too. It just makes it more difficult to stay focused on the thing that's important, which is the stream.
Phil certainly did have a weird hand.
Your attention is pulled in a bunch of different areas, and you have to balance it. Because you can't just say no to everything. Just no, and just like focus in. I mean, you could, but instead, you kind of got to balance, I think. The buy-in for this tournament, $10,000. $10,000, my friends. This was in November. This is day 1B of the Caribbean Poker Party. Philip Gruesome with the 8-5 suited. Daniel Rezai on the big blind with ace jack. Now, sitting on 550,000 here is about 60, 55 big blinds deep. He could go for a re-raise, or he could call. It's kind of like the German-Austrian corner there, you know? It goes Germany, Germany, Austria. They're kind of in the same group. A lot of the Germans and Austrians hang out together. They talk strategy together and stuff like that. Someone who's only 19. I've been playing online poker for 6 months. What are some things I should look out for when I go try live poker for the first time? Plays 2K. I would say patience. Like, that's the thing that most people struggle with over time, is they're not patient enough. They want to play too many hands. They hate being card dead for 30 minutes, and then they start playing too many hands, and then they get stacked, and it's just like... live poker is actually pretty slow. Like, there's a lot of folding. There's a lot of waiting. So just sit back, relax, you know, and be ready for every spot. But there's a lot of just sitting back and waiting, you know. Anton Wig under the gun. It's going to fold. Timothy with the ace-3 suited. Yeah, I like raising here. Got a little raise or Reno going in.
He's coming in for the raise.
Tony in the hijack with 2s.
Tony, cool with deuces, try and flop a set. Phil, ace 4 of diamonds.
Just gonna call for 18,000. Hey, we got a knockout, man, with the flush. $27 knockout. We're up to 70K.
3-bet with Tony calling in for 10.
And Philip Gruesome in the cutoff is gonna call as well with ace 4 suited. All right, this is getting wild now. This is kind of a thing. Daniel Rizai folds. Clement. I mean, in the big blinds, it's not a great hand, but I kind of want to get involved with the 6-4 offsuit. Kind of interested.
Clement 6-4 off in the big, just another 10K.
Yeah, let's do it.
We'll take this 4-way.
4-way's the flop. Let's get a deuce 3 5 diamond diamond diamond. Yeah, 2 intense.
King
Okay.
6-3.
King 6-3. 6s flop the top pair.
He has the only club in the hand.
Backdoor flush draw for Philip.
This may be a flop.
Tony has bottom
He
pair.
decides to c-bet.
Or
It's
Timothy,
4-way.
excuse me. Tony has an under pair.
Basically expect to win a spot if you check the flop.
But everyone kind of misses, you know. It's not really, there's no real hits here.
Should check through. Phil has kind of a spicy one. Backdoor diamonds, backdoor straight draw.
Headphones are key for live poker. I always try and make conversation at the table. I do my best to anyways. I mean, sometimes I don't.
Go.
Sometimes the table doesn't want to talk. They're not interested in making the effort for a conversation, in which case, yeah. You know, zone out, put some headphones in, listen to a book, whatever. But
Phil's decided to bet,
I
having
think,
killed
especially if you're a regular player, like if you're an amateur player, do whatever you want. But if you're trying to be a professional or a regular, and you are a professional, it's kind of on you to make a positive environment in the cash games you're playing in. If you don't, you're not going to get invited to games. You're not going to develop relationships and network. And people aren't going to be interested in playing with you.
It's only the same with his
You
underwear.
know, so it's like you can do that, and there's no question. I've put the headphones in and zoned out before, but I would say 99% of the time when I was playing cash games at home, my home card room, I was having conversations without headphones. The best time I think to use headphones is like day one of tournaments like this, because it's just not a very chatty experience. Day one of tournaments. For whatever reason, the early level of tournaments, there's less banter. Maybe because more is on the line. You know, there's no rebuys, right? So it's life or death. Whereas in cash games, you just add on
Go heads up, jack on
if
the
you get
turn.
stacked,
Not
and
a
you can
card that
come and
gives
go as you please.
any extra outs. He was looking there for a
So yeah.
deuce, a 5, a 7, or a
But don't get me
diamond.
wrong, man. Like there's definitely a part of me, the Jack of Spades. Philip Gruesome is just absolutely mixing it up here, man. Absolutely mixing it up.
Only bet this flop 4-way. It's called.
There's definitely a big part of me that wishes I didn't feel that pressure, because I think you could just go and you could end up reading,
Some of the draws in my
you know,
hand
like
holding the
20 books in a month or listening to 20 books in a month, you know? And you could binge watch like amazing television series. Like
tie.
if you were just in your own world,
He's gonna give it another go.
you could get a
Big.
full education while playing poker because there's enough time.
This will get the job done, surely.
But I just feel too bad when I do that. I feel like it's just the environment for other people around me is too boring. They're not going to want to play again.
Smaller bet.
It's just, you know,
Get a card off, but nice
you got to
play
do
from
something there.
Phil, really bossing.
Philip Gruesome, dude. Look at this gangster moves from the Philip Gruesome, man.
Delay here at bar
Look at his
half.
face. He knows what he's doing.
About-
Destroying people on the felt, man. Ace 4 of diamonds,
Feels
float
legally
4
little
ways. Whew.
with the jacks on the
Damn.
top here with the ace 4 diamonds.
Bluff board indeed. Bluff board, exactly. Ed K. Worst for no conversation was in the Bahamas last year. Everyone playing the $300 games I was playing at just bust out of the 25K. Not a word spoken in hours. In case he's a stranger. Yeah. Yeah. It's hard, man. It's a really hard thing with conversation in poker because I also can't fault people for focusing and trying hard. You know, I can't discredit them. I can't tell them you're the problem with poker. Like, none of that. I can't. It's just you're playing a competitive game, and they can choose to play it competitively however they want. But it also is a crappy environment. It's just not very fun, is it? And like it or not, and most people hate it. part of playing high stakes poker is the at least when it comes to live and stuff, is like connections and network and being respected and well liked to be able to get into high stakes cash games, to be able to get invited to tournaments like Triton, you know, to play in Triton games, or to have less friction to get into those big spots. Daniel Rizai is going to raise up the 8-5 of diamonds on the button. Anton Wig in the big blind calls with the queen jack suited. Okay, we go to a flop. These are some fun hands. Whoa! We got a royal draw, Dottie. That's a royal flush draw. How about the 10 of hearts for the stream dream on the turn? Little 10 ball, 10 of hearts. We need to see a turn here, though. Daniel Rizai with the 5. Thinking about whether he wants to bet or not, and I'm also kind of confused as to whether you should here or not. Daniel Rizai has a nut advantage. You know, Anton Wig is going to 3-bet aces, going to 3-bet kings, going to 3-bet ace king, and ace queen, and ace jack, I think, right? So Daniel Rizai can have all those hands, and Anton Wig can't. So that's a nut advantage. You know, Daniel Rizai has more nuts than Anton. But when you think about not just the nuts, the whole range, all the hands that both players play in these spots, who has a percentage edge? Anton or Daniel? And it's pretty close. I think probably Anton by a little bit. Probably. Although it might be Daniel by a little bit. So that this is a spot where I'm not sure actually who has the equity advantage. Daniel on the button or Anton in the big blind on an ace king 5 2 hearts. It's tough. It's close, I think. It's close. So in making the decision, do you c-bet an 8-5 or not? It can go both ways. If you don't really have a range advantage, you kind of want to play a small pot, right? Which is an argument for a check back. But if you can have the nuts and they can't have the nuts, you can put a lot of pressure on by betting big, which makes you want to bet. Which is kind of what we're seeing Daniel do here. You know, betting 127,000 on the turn. This looks like an overbet, actually. Overbetting the turn, which is the exact thing we're just talking about, right? The nut advantage. And Daniel is actually value betting here. But this is a very high-level hand between like two high-stakes good tournament pros. This is a big hand. Wow. And a 5 on the river. I mean, Anton's not going to call, but Rizai loves his life because he actually has a value bet shove here on the end. But he could bet small too. I mean, it's an interesting one because what we just talked about, you know, with Daniel's bluffs, he wants to shove. Anton can't have aces, can't have kings, can't have ace king, can't have ace queen.
Very hard to fold an ace given the king kicker now plays.
So with his bluffs, he wants to shove to put max pressure. But then if he thinks that Anton is going to fold, you know, ace 9 or something, then maybe he wants to bet kind of small and try and get a crying call. But doesn't happen, and he takes it down, making the trips on the end. It would have been interesting to see if the river was a brick, because I think he was going to continue on a brick. I'm not sure if he was, but I think he was going to continue. What's up, Deuce Deuce Never Lose? Welcome, man. Welcome. I was a podcast last night. Didn't get recorded last night, actually. So tonight is the night. We've been trying to record since Tuesday, and it's now Saturday. It's been canceled every day since Tuesday for various issues. But we're here on Saturday night. We're going to record it tonight. It'll be released on, I think, Monday, hopefully. So, yeah. Who's the German guy? Well, this is Philip Gruesome. There's a German guy beside him, and then Daniel Rizai is Austrian as well, which is, I mean, no, I know not the same as German, but they speak the same language. It's very similar. Andreas. I don't know Andreas. A lot of the Austrian poker players as well are German, but they emigrate to Austria because of the tax implications of being a poker pro in Germany. So a lot of people that are under the Austrian flag are actually German, so which is why I correlate them so well, you know, or so closely. I know they're very different.
Doesn't want to play Queen 7 off multi-way. It gets undergun a small blind, which is perfectly reasonable. 10 at 6-6. flop. It's not bad for either player.
All right.
That's the opener.
Clicky with the ace-5 of clubs onto the gun, and Anton calling deuces in the small blind.
20k the bet. Easy call here for Anton with 2 pairs.
Wow. Okay, Rob Young just tweeted something about Million Cyprus. 5K buy-in, 5 million guaranteed, plus a 1K, 1 million guaranteed finale, full schedule. May 2020, Cyprus. Oh, man. I really want to go to Cyprus. That'd be so much fun. But I can't do it. You got to stream. I want to go, but I can't do it. We got to stream. Got to grow the channel, man. But that stop sounds awesome. Very cool. All right. Retweeting that. You can check it out if you want to go to Cyprus and play a main event. 5 on the end. Clicky. River's the best hand.
Get the good news. That 5 was needed.
Austria is to Germany what Canada is to the U.S. Maybe. To be honest, and I'm Canadian, but I think it's a little bit different because I think a lot of Americans and a lot of people around the world would view Canada, U.S. to kind of be like New Zealand, Australia, you know, where like Canada is lesser or way smaller, whereas I don't view Austria as like way smaller than Germany culturally or in significance. I feel like it's a different relationship between those two. I do. I think New Zealand, Australia works for Canada, US, but around the world, I think Canada is viewed as like a little brother to America and is grouped in together all the time, which isn't fair, but it's true. It's just how it is, how people view it. Well, I don't think people group Austria and Germany together that often. Is that true? Germany's huge. I know, man. I know. 80 million, Austria like 15. Yeah, that's only a 5-to-1 ratio, though. You know what I mean? Whereas Canada, US is like 10 or 11 ratio.
He decides to call. I like it. You're gonna raise some
9 million in Austria. Okay, well then it's about 8-to-1. John Fritz. I don't know. I just don't make the same connection between that. But I'm Canadian, so there's some bias there, I'm sure.
So just call this time.
Raise from Tony under the gun. Daniel Razai is going to call on the hijack, which I think is fine. It's the ace-queen suited. It's a little bit too crazy to go for the 3-bets. And then you don't want to play a huge 4-bet game or anything. And ace-queen suited plays well, multi-way, plays well heads up. You're in position. I think this is totally fine.
He decides to play.
So we go 3 ways to the flop. Patrick Clicky with not a great hand.
Well, he flops a pair and a gut shot on ace 3-4, whilst the other two flop top pair.
Gut shot and a third pair. Tony flopping the top pair, and Daniel Razai also flopping the top pair with a better kicker. So this is interesting.
Daniel with a pretty easy overcall.
I feel offended just because I'm German. What do you mean, 91 Tower? What do you mean, man? I think that's because European countries have older history, so they are pretty much all part in history, which they were a very significant country in the world. That's true, yeah. That's got to be it, man. Like, that's why there's a more independent feel as opposed to like New Zealand, Australia, or as opposed to Canada, US, where there's less history to rely on to differentiate the two cultures. Of course, it's still very different. You know, again, I'm Canadian, so it can be a little tilting in the UK. Everyone just immediately, I'm assuming, American, and then having to live with the assumptions that come along with being American when I'm not, you know. It's not something I would sign up for voluntarily. You know what I mean? So don't get me wrong. I'm not minimizing Canada or New Zealand's culture, but I think you're probably right. History is why. Tony's going to bet on the turn here. This is a very thin bet with ace-9. Daniel Razai, you can see on his face, is confused. You can read it. You can read the confusion, which I think is a little bit of a tell. I think you need to avoid this because if you're confused like this, it takes the nuts out. You know, it takes out some of the hands that are very determined and know what they're doing. Of course, you could reverse this, you could throw this in and balance it, but that doesn't happen. People aren't doing that. So when you get those little micro expressions of confusion, it puts you on a range, right? It eliminates some hands from your range. You're giving away some information there. So what you're saying is people hear you talk, they ask you why you voted for Trump. I mean, pretty much, actually, the Poop 34. Pretty much like there's an immediate uneasiness when I speak in a taxi or something like that because people assume I'm American and they're not sure if I'm Republican or Democrat. They're not sure where I stand on all sorts of like social issues, like what my perspective is on things. It's like very uncomfortable. Like they won't poke or prod very often. They're just kind of like they hear and you can tell they're wondering. And they're not giving you the banter because they don't want to open up a door to the Wild West. You know what I mean? So it's awkward.
Such a great price for this bluff, Patrick. Betting 175 in a 250k pot. He still has 21% equity in this pot.
So this is a crazy raise from Patrick. Legendary. Raise it up with the 3-5. This is a gangster bluff, man. And now back on Daniel Rizai, who I mean hates this, right? But it might have been the micro expressions that caused this situation because if Clicky saw that, what I saw, we know that Daniel Rizai doesn't have a set or have like a 2-pair because there is no need for that thought process. So I wonder if Clicky picked up on that or not. But it's just a really difficult spot for Daniel Rizai because he's got one of the best hands he's going to have here, but at the same time, it's just really difficult for there to be bluffs in this situation. We do see one, so that's a gangster play, man. What a sick, sick move. Huge respect from Patrick Clicky. Turning the 3 into a bluff on the turn with a gut shot is pretty sick.